Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I play Rainbow Six Siege a lot. I really like the game, and I've made a lot of videos about it, particularly critiquing the game. I've made a, video, Rainbow Six Siege is pay to win, and, that's a whole nother topic for another day, a video I've already made, but, I've critiqued Rainbow Six Siege a lot, and it's because I love the game, I love it so much that I want to see it succeed, and that's why I critique it. I'm not just completely, crapping on the game to crap on it. It's because I like the game. I think it's one of the best first-person shooters out there right now, and I want the game to succeed and be as successful as possible and do great, because it's a fun game. But lately, especially when the last two operators, Lion and Finka, have come out, there was a lot of controversy because typically, especially in the earlier, when the game first launched, the base operators were, like one-person Sledge. His special thing was he had a hammer. One person, one buck, even though he's a DLC operator, when he came out, his special thing was he had a shotgun on his gun. He had a skeleton key. Someone's special is they have a thermite charge that they have to, thermite has a charge he has to put on the wall and detonate. And, everyone kind of had, Capkin had a, little, booby traps, but he had to place them. So pretty much the way it worked is these, all the operators had very realistic, kind of abilities, and they all felt like they were more gadgets or gear. Like they had to utilize the gear. They weren't like just abilities that you press a button like Overwatch and something happens. It felt like they were really gear that your character had and you could utilize them in, correct places. And in the last operation, we got Finka and Lion, and both of the characters have global abilities that you press a single button and then it happens. You have Lion, which, if you don't know, he has a drone that's flying up in the air, and 3 times he can, during the match, he can press a button, and it kind of does like a timer. It goes 3, 2, 1, and then for like 5 seconds, any defender that moves for the entire duration, you can just see them through walls. So it pretty much for about 15 seconds during the match, which doesn't seem a lot of time, you can just prevent the defenders from moving, which is really important. And if they do move, potentially, I've so many times just gotten kills through walls, because I'm like, oh, he's literally just in this other room, I'm gonna shoot where his head is and kill them. And I know that they're planning on nerfing Lion because Lion is stupid OP right now. But the problem is apparently they're not going to make that change until the next operation comes out, until the next operators come out. And I don't understand that. That's kind of a topic for a different video. But I really don't understand why they are making the decision to not patch or, balance someone that is completely broken right now. Like, in every single pro match, when he first came out, he was literally in 100% of the pro matches, and now that there's been a couple more tournaments, the averages, he's in 6% of all games. And that's a little ridiculous, because it's stupid. But not only is the fact that he's broken, that's not really the problem. We've had broken operators before. We've had Ella, and she's kind of, operators kind of have felt like they're sort of going towards more unrealistic kind of abilities rather than kind of gear that they use. But at least Ella, she had 5 of these, or I think it was 5 concussion mines that she had to throw. She had to put them down. That was still a thing. You had to kind of place them. Whereas Lion, press a button, scans everyone. And then you have Finka, which I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. You have Finka where twice during the game, or no, 3 times, I'm pretty sure. I'm actually fuzzy on this. I play a ton. I don't know why I can't think of how many charges she has. But she can, I believe it's 3. Press a button, and it does a lot of things. And by the way, the lore behind this is that before the battle, she put a bunch of nanobots in all of her teammates, and this is them working. They're dissolving. So when she presses a button, some of the nanobots dissolve or whatever, and every friendly operator gets 20 bonus HP. They have reduced recoil. They can, it just does a bunch of stuff. And if they're down, they immediately get up and stuff like that. And she overall hasn't been seeing a lot of play, but it's still the fact that you press a button and a bunch of stuff happens, which is an ability. Technically they're like, oh, well, my gadget is these nanobots and I press a button to activate it and that's my gadget, but it's literally like an Overwatch character. It's, you press a button, Lion, you press a button, it scans people. Finka, you press a button and it, heals everyone and, or, gives them health and, gets them up and they have less recoil and just does all this stuff for pressing a button. Whereas you know, I think one of the most popular DLC operators in terms of just overall the amount of positivity I've seen towards it is Mira. She, pretty much what she does is she has two walls. You know, most of you guys probably know this if you're watching this video, but in case you don't, she has two kind of wall, or, you know, little mirrors that she puts on a wall, and you can see through that mirror, but they can't see you. And then you can kind of punch a little air barrel or something, I don't know, and the window will drop and you can shoot through it. But most of the time you use it just to see where they are, and, you know, you can do kind of quirky little things where you'll reinforce the wall that's on, but you won't reinforce the wall next to it. So if you see someone, you can just move to the left and shoot where you think they are, you know, and it's really fun. But she added a lot to the game because she made sites plausible to kind of use when there weren't before, and she added a lot to the game. And she's really, really good, and she's picked a lot, but it's because of the fact that she pretty much made so many sites accessible, which just made the game feel fresher. But it's still the fact that she had two things, and she had to physically put them on, and then, you know, you kind of have to, the whole point is you have to kind of be watching through it. Whereas, you know, operators now have, you know, Lion and Finka have been just press a button, use an ability. And the thing is, you know, a lot of people are defending it as, oh, well, you know, it's just this one operation. These operators were just global abilities. Now, the thing that kind of scares me about that is we have seen leaks for the two Defender Italian kind of operators that are coming up in the next season. And by the way, you know, you might be thinking, oh, well, these leaks aren't true. Pretty much every single time a leak like this has come out, it's been like 100% true. So obviously this might not be true, but more likely than not, it's true. So we have the two operators. One of them has a auto turret, and it seems like overall he has to be on the camera to shoot, so it doesn't really seem like an auto turret, but he can place a turret somewhere most likely, and he can look through it and shoot. So that's kind of okay-ish, you know, because of the fact that you're having to control it. But the other one is a hologram projectors, and it seems like it says like if an attacker shoots one of the holograms, they get tagged like Lion, you know, like they can see through walls. And overall, a lot of this can change, a lot of the details can be fuzzy, but most likely these leaks are semi-true. And in terms of the hologram thing, that definitely feels just like another Overwatch ability. You press a button, something happens. So it seems like you'll press a button, a hologram pops out. And not only is that like, not only are we going to Overwatch territory where everyone has an ability and it's, you know, this quirky ability, it seems to be we're going far from, you know, realistic. Back then we had, you know, kind of booby traps that, you know, were laser things. That's a real thing. You had someone with a hammer. I'm pretty sure sledgehammers exist. You had someone that just put a breaching charge on a wall. That exists. You know, you had someone that had to throw smoke canisters. That exists. And it was all very, very plausible. And even the DLC operators, you know, although some of them could get a little kind of like, you know, Legion, there's like, he had the goo mines and stuff like that. That's not really a very common thing, but it's plausible. It's 100% plausible, and I'm sure they've existed at some point. But getting to the point where you just have a drone that lets everyone see through walls, and then you have nanobots that dissolve and heal everyone and give them less recoil, and now we're having holograms. So not only are we going into the, you know, kind of Overwatch, just press a button, something happens, we're going into kind of less realistic. And overall, I don't really hate the kind of less realism as much as other people do, but I definitely understand where they're coming from. And the reason I'm still angry is because every time it's less realistic, it's like one of these Overwatch abilities where you just press a button and something happens. And so the thing is so many pros have just, you know, I mean, obviously the player base has been pretty adamant about that they're not liking these global abilities, but there have been so many really good pros that have been saying like, wow, this is really bad, you know, everything requires skill, and the game's kind of just starting to become a clone of Overwatch. You know, when I say clone of Overwatch, obviously I don't really mean it, because they're completely separate games and I understand it, but we're kind of getting to the point where every operator does one quirky thing and they can just press a button and do it. Now the turret, although I still don't really like that much, because, you know, he could be completely far away. He can place it and then he can be completely far away and, you know, use it to shoot if that's the way it works. That's obviously a lot better than someone that just gets to spam out holograms, because not only is it more realistic, like drones and turrets like that are a thing, but you're having to do something with it. But her just being able to shoot out holograms, if that's the way it works, is not going to be fun. And I just overall kind of wanted to talk about this Overwatchification of Rainbow Six Siege, and I really hope they kind of shy away from doing this, especially global abilities, because I don't think global abilities are, you know, fun for this game at all. You know, when Dokkaebi came out, she presses a button, she rings everyone's phones, and, you know, that's all right, but then she can pick up phones, she has to physically go to a phone that, you know, is on a dead body of someone, she can hack it, and you get access to the cameras. So there's still kind of an aspect to it, and on top of that, her global ability of ringing everyone's phones wasn't the most OP and broken thing ever, but it was still, you know, we're kind of still getting to that point. We slowly arrived to the point of Lion and Finka, and I feel like I'm really scared that that's going to be the future of Rainbow Six Siege. But, you know, these leaks might not be true at all, even though they probably are, but I just, you know, obviously things can change, but as of right now, I'm a little scared. I still believe in Rainbow Six. I don't think the game's gonna die. I think it's going to lose a lot of its charm of, you know, the whole point of it all being kind of realistic and it's showcasing different operators from different countries and stuff like that, and that's what I really liked about the game, and the fact that it felt like your abilities were just, you know, kind of gear and tools that you utilized rather than, you know, an Overwatch ability. But overall, those are just my opinions. Obviously, we're all people, we're all human. That's what's cool about being a human. You could have completely different opinions as mine, and, you know, part of the fun of making these videos is not only, you know, me just talking at you guys, but, you know, listening and, you know, talking to you guys in the comments. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of, you know, kind of the future of Rainbow Six Siege and where we're at right now, and whether you like it or not, because I know a lot of people kind of like this global ability thing. So, you know, I definitely love to hear guys' opinions on that. But if you guys enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. You know, ring that bell, notification bell, as the fellow YouTubers say, if you want to get notifications. But I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, so that's when they'll be coming out if you want to just stay tuned for that. But either way, like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and see you guys next time.